Well, good morning, folks, and welcome to episode one. I don't know why I'm laughing already. This is good morning, folks, and welcome to episode one of Soft Plastic Bait Making TV. I'll be your host, Chris Harris. Today, I want to start off with my introduction to injection molding, and my approach to this was I researched probably 6 months. I floated around forums. I floated around. I talked to a couple friends on Instagram. I seen what they was doing, so kind of made an educated decision what I wanted to do to start off with. I knew right away that I did not want to mess with the do-it molds, the sand cast molds, because the finish on them that I was getting from a friend that was making them for me, I just didn't like it. It's not that it was a bad bait. It wasn't a solid bait. It was all that. I just didn't like the finish. So what I decided to go with was a bass tackle, 6-inch slim stick. And this was the first aluminum injection mold that I purchased. Along with that, I purchased the 3-ounce bass tackle injector. This is the only real purchase I made that I wish I would have not made. Not that it's a bad injector or it doesn't do its job. It'll fill this mold. I just got that one mold to start off with, but at least go with a 6-ounce injector because you're going to upgrade. You're going to get a couple more molds, and this is going to be pretty much irrelevant. But I'm just keeping it, because it was my first one. I might let it go soon, but we did that. We got some plastisol. I'm going to try to stay away from forever is slinging plastisol names out there. They all work. They all make lures, and that's the bottom line. Pick which one you like, use it, and that's good enough for me. That's what I do, and it's good enough for you too. So get that out the way. A little bit about me. I've been doing this for about 2 years now. I think I'm approaching 2 years, and I've had a lot of help behind the scenes. I've watched. I do a lot of watching and learning and listening, and a couple people took me under their wings behind the scenes, and they really helped me along. And they know who they are. I don't have to put their name out there. But they've been a big help, and they helped me advance rather quickly in other people's eyes. They say, I was a year and a half in, and people thought I've been doing it for 10 years. So they know who they are. I just wanted to thank them. So another thing you'll need starting out is a Pyrex cup. I was playing last night, so this one's nice and dirty. You're going to need a colorant. This is the first colorant I bought. Blue fleck dye from Lure Works. I will tell you where I get the colorants and the pearls and the glitters and all that stuff, because if you're trying to recreate what I'm trying to recreate, that's what it's going to take. Kind of what it's going to take. So I will be telling you like glitters and all that stuff. I have no problem, but I'm not going to get into the plastisol crap. I just don't like that game. So you're gonna need that. You're gonna need some gloves. They suggest long sleeve shirts, which I'm not wearing. Goggles, mask. All the long sleeve, long pants, closed-toed shoes, and all that stuff. But just want to cover that real quick. And you'll need a microwave. Just see if I cover. I got the mold. I got the injector. Got the colorant. Got that. Got the flake. This was the first flake I bought, also to go with the blue fleck dye, which is from Golden Grub Lures. So that's where we got that from. And so What I'll do right now is I'm going to get some of this plastisol in this cup. We're going to go through the heating process for the new guys. Just kind of get that off of me right now, and we're going to get that kind of trying to get that down to where the action is going on. Like I said, I was playing last night. I got a mess. This is a bait maker's bench. That's what it looks like. That's just the way it is. So I got some plastisol right here. We're going to take this plastisol. I'm going to mix it up. I might have another cup in there. And like I say, plastisol, it don't matter what brand it is. Just find which one you like. There's plenty out there. And this is what I pour out. I usually get them in 5-gallon jugs, and I just pour off into this. And that's like, I don't know, 6 cups or something in there. I can fit in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that in a cup. Shake this dye up. One little fact about between a collar and a dye is a dye actually it keeps moving around, so it don't really need to be shooken up real aggressively or nothing like that. It pretty much stays mixed is what I'm saying. Where with the you find one of these collars that's been sitting here for a minute. Now so you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not. You can see a little dark line. You know, this needs mixed up pretty good. But as far as a dye, they continually move. So it doesn't get hard packed on the bottom, but it does bleed. It bleeds like a stuck pig. So we're going to go with 25 drops of this. And we're going to mix that up before we put it in there. The reason why I know it's 25 drops with this is because, like I say, this is the first collar. And this is the way I like it. Of course, you can adjust it. You know, you can go lighter. You can go darker. You can go more transparent. Stuff like that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start at 1 minute. I know exactly how long it takes, but we're going to start at 1 minute, and I'm going to try to show you the transition. The transition coming out the microwave at 1 minute intervals, and I'll be right back whenever that happens. All right, guys, we a minute in, and we're going to pull this out. We're going to stir it. It hasn't phased over yet. It has gotten warm, but it hasn't got to the point where it starts to phase and coagulate before it goes into the final transition. So we're gonna go another minute on that. We can put our mold together real quick. Y'all can see everything. And this is just like, this is one of the things where put your first video up, and then you start from there, and then you critique it, and then you know, I might have to change the lighting up, I might have to do more things, I might have to, you know, I'll learn from this video, for me, the way to set this up a little bit better, and hopefully you'll learn a little bit on how to get your introduction into bait making. So another thing we got here is a silicone pad. I just use this to create a little barrier between my bench. That way there's not a big temperature change for the cup setting on there. I've seen them blow out and break on people. Thankfully I haven't had that happen yet. But you know, I suppose it can happen to me just as well. So let me get this back out. We got our glove on. I'm gonna grab this, and This is 2-minute interval. This is a 1,000-watt microwave, and now you can see that we're starting to get some heat through this. It's starting to gel up. The target temp for plastisol for full conversion is 350 degrees. So we're at this point. I'm going to go ahead and back off to 30-second intervals. So we're going to pop that in there for 30 seconds. And hopefully this bubbles up for everybody. I hate to say it, but I hope it does. And we'll show you how to work them out without actually having to have a vacuum chamber. All it does is it takes time and patience to work it out. We're going to get our 2 glitters down here. And I'll probably go a 1/4 teaspoon per glitter. I like my blue fleck dye to be heavily glittered. So, and as far as glitter, you know, it's a personal preference. I think the standard is a quarter per cup, but you know, that all changes with the, you know, you get a bigger flake, you got less particles in there because it's bigger. You know, you might need a little bit more. You might go with an 1 teaspoon of the small flake because there's a, say, 100 pieces in it, where with this one there would only be 50, and this one, which is even a bigger one, which is 062, there might be 25. So I mean, you gotta, that'll all come with experience. Knock my mold over, that's gonna happen. Okay, so yeah, y'all can see here we do have some bubbles in there. I don't think I'm at the temp I need to be at yet, so we're gonna mix this in, and I can just tell by the feel of this that we're not where we need to be yet. So we're at 2 minutes and 30 seconds right now, and we do look like we're going to have a few bubbles, and we're still, you know, we're still not where we need to be. No, that's more like a jelly. That's not ready to shoot, and we'll just hit it with this temp gun. We're at 306, so we're not where we need to be. So we'll go another 30 seconds. And see where that puts us. What can we talk about in them 30 seconds? I guess there's a lot of things we can talk about, but I don't want to complicate things any more than I need to be. So we'll just we'll get things set up here. We got our mold. We'll set it up. Our injector, we'll probably put it back. Yeah, we put it back already, so we'll just grab our injector out. That 30 seconds flew by, kinda. So here we go. All right, let me just show you real quick. We do have bubbles. They're coming. You can see them at the top right there. And still got to mix this in. So what's going to happen is I'll be mixing them bubbles back down in now. So this is where you got to be patient. You don't have a vacuum chamber. And what a vacuum chamber does, just for educational purposes, is it pulls the air out of the liquid. Basically, it sucks the air out of the liquid. So the air bubbles, all the air in that plastisol would come out, and it would be perfectly fine, perfectly clear. But yeah, we do have bubbles, and they're already coming back to the top. So we're gonna hit this with the heat gun. See if we hit our 350 degrees yet, and we have not. So we'll go back in for another 30 seconds. Now I'll probably put us up over 350, which is fine. As long, you know, you can go up over 350 on your initial heat, but you keep going back in and out of the microwave several times, and you keep hitting that 370, 380. I don't care what plastisol you have, it's gonna change on you, it's gonna try to burn on you, you know. So hit your target. Try to keep it down after that. You know, you got numbers on your microwave. You don't have to do 30 seconds every time. You can do 10 seconds. You know, just try to keep it down under that 350 every time you go in and out. So yeah, you can actually see the bubbles actually rose up a little bit more. What we're going to do at this point is we're just going to grab these bubbles that's up to the top already. We're going to, this is how I do it. I just kind of pull them off. And put them on the edge of my bench right there. They'll cool down. You can pull that off and throw it in the trash. Right, not a big deal. So before we start this again, we're going to get the bubbles off the top that's already up there. We don't want to get them back down in there again. All right, looks like we got a little bit right here still. So we got 90% of them bubbles out there. So at this point, instead of stirring now, we're just going to swish back and forth. So I can tell I'm past my targeted temp. I'll be able to prove that. We're at 358, probably a little bit warmer than that. But you can still see the bubbles are coming up, so we're just going to sit here a minute or so and let them bubbles just keep coming up, keep coming up. We got a microwave, we can reheat. Not a big deal, right? So we'll let that do its thing, and looks like they pretty much come out already. Some cases you won't get none at all. This was pulled out of a 5-gallon bucket and I'm getting toward the bottom, so hey, you know, that's just the way it goes. You can't change that. You're going to get bubbles. I've gotten bubbles in fresh gallons, and I've gotten gallons that I've never had a bubble clear to the bottom. One thing you can't control is bubbles, humidity. You can't control that. What can you do? All you can do is work with it. So, all right. We'll get back down here and we're going to show you what we're looking at now. As you can see, there might be a little few bubbles around here, around the edge, which it's no big deal. As long as you don't get aggressive and stir that back down in there, you'll be fine. And by the time we get the flake in there, they might be gone anyway. So go ahead and we're going to grab our flake. Like I said, I like my blue heavy in this, so we'll go 1/4 of the 040, 035, 030, whatever they call me, whatever your company calls medium size flake, and we're going to do the same amount in the 015 small flake. And we're going to mix that in. And I'll show you how even adding flakes sometimes will, anything you add to plastisol has a potential of having moisture or not moisture, but humidity on it or in it. And you can see, you might be able to see that, you know, there's some bubbles. There was a little bit of moisture in there. And it's in the plastisol, but like I say, we got time. We'll just give it a second. We'll switch it back around a little bit. We're gonna check the temp. I like to shoot my plastisol 320 and lower. And the reason I'll tell you the reason why I do that, because the reason I do that is the colder the plastisol goes in the mold, the less time it takes to suck in, solidify. less time you're going to be standing there filling this sprue back up to make sure it don't suck any air in it. The harder it goes in, the more time you're going to spend managing the sprue, keeping the sprue topped off. Some molds might need that. You know, they might need a little hotter temperature to get a good bait out of. All molds have different attitudes, basically. But I found I can get by with all of mine right at 320, 310. I can usually get them working good for me. So looks like we're ready to go here. We're gonna think you can see everything. We're gonna go ahead and pull this mold over here. Maybe we'll get this out the way. And got my first ever 3-ounce injector. It's another thing I didn't mess with just by watching and learning was a do-it injector. Which this is a do-it injector. And for me, the do-it injectors do fine. They do good for me. And we'll get onto that. We'll get onto the do-it injectors later. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to suck this up in here. We're going to push the air out just a little bit. Make sure we don't have no bubbles in there from sucking it up in there. Because there is a little bit of room in there between the injector and the bottom of the nozzle where it can pull up a little bit of air. So we're just going to take our time. We're just going to push that in there. We're going to hold it for a second. Going to pull it off. We're going to top this off. We're going to clean out our injector back into the cup. And we're going to watch this sprue opening. Yeah, kind of got glitter up there. You can see, hopefully you can see how it's sucking down. We don't want that to empty out because that'll give room for air to suck down in them baits. So we're just going to top that off. We're going to watch it. We're going to watch it some more and make sure it don't suck back down in. Now, if I was using a hotter plastisol, I guarantee you I'd have to do this at least 2 times. I have to stand here and I'd have to watch that because it's just sucking down in before it solidifies. You got to keep them filled. But like I say, 320, 310 on my injection. Whenever I inject at 320, 310 degrees, I usually one time, and I don't have to refill. I don't have to sit here and babysit it. And I'll show you in a second how much is actually sucked down since I topped it back off. And another thing, using a plastisol that's real hot, it can cause denting because that plastic's still moving around in that mold and it's trying to cool that hotter plastic down, and it just gives it more time to have adverse reactions, dents, stuff like that. So you know, from what I see here, I can probably almost pull them out already. But we're going to give it another second. I'm going to get down here and I'll show you that sprue again. And we'll clean out our injector, let it cool off. Clean out our injector. But our plastisol is still plenty hot enough to go back in this. We don't have to go back in that microwave every time between injections. So we're going to put our glove on. We're going to take these set screws out. Said set screws. I don't mean set screws, they're just screws. And we're going to pop these out. And we'll show you these real quick in the mold. And then we'll show you out the mold with a little bit of backlight behind it. Let me get this flipped around if I can. Oh well, can't figure out how to flip it around, so this is what we got right now. Hopefully you can see that blue flake. I see 6 from this side. I see 6 perfect baits. And we'll pop them out real quick. Get a little backlight behind it. Like I say, I like mine dark. This does have a red shade to it, so it can be tweaked. It can be almost transparent, or it can be dark like this. This is the way I like mine, so that's the way I did mine. Alright, so we're going to put you back there. Put these up here and let them do their thing. We're going to throw this mold back together. We might have to go back in the microwave, but we'll see. We'll stir it up. See where it's at. I know there's dead boring spots in here, y'all, but you know, I'm still figuring out this YouTube thing. I got one video up, and I didn't learn much from it. So we're gonna really focus on it this time and see what we can really learn. You know, I could shoot this back in there, but and y'all gonna think it's crazy, but you know, this is like jelly again, but it would go back in there. You wouldn't have to top it off either. So that goes to my same point. You know, the colder the plastic, the less babysitting you have to do. So we're just gonna hit that for let's see, hit that for 15 seconds. We'll see what happens. We gotta go back in. No big deal, right? We got a microwave. And, you know, don't worry about speed at this point. Starting out, worry about perfecting your technique. Then speed's going to come along with it, you know. We don't have to make 30 of these in 15 minutes. Could we? Absolutely. Not a problem. But at this point in your hobby, it's more about learning. It's not about speed. So we're going to get back in here. We're going to suck this back out again. And go back into the mold. Get right back into injecting it. Hold pressure for a few seconds. And this is still pretty cool plastic, that's all I can tell. So to be honest with you, I probably won't have to top this off at all. But that's another thing that comes with experience, is you get the feel for things, you know, and then you don't have to spend time saying, well, I know that plastic saw is cool, so I don't have to worry about this mold. Or I know that plastic saw is a little hot. I gotta watch that mold. I'm gonna have to top that mold off a little bit. I knew the way this pulled up in the injector that I'm not gonna have to top that mold off. So that's that. Alright guys, that's my introduction. That's the way I started out. That's the way I started out, folks. And I just figured I'd start there at this point in the hobby or your career or whatever. I figured I'd start at the beginning and then get that covered. Show you my way, my approach to it. But don't jump. You don't have to jump into it tomorrow. Take some time. Do some research. I'm telling you, I was 6 months before I even purchased anything. The reason why I didn't purchase a dual injector is because I did my research. The reason I didn't purchase a do-it injector or a mold is because I did my research. I knew that I was probably going to be unhappy with the do-it mold and the do-it injector. I haven't got a do-it mold. I don't like the finish of the sand cast. If I'm going to go CNC, I'm probably going to just go with a company other than do it if I go CNC. That's just a personal choice. That's just the way I am. So that's pretty much it, folks. We're going to call this video done, and we're going to critique the hell out of it. We're going to look at lighting. We're going to be hard on ourselves, and we're going to see where we can improve from here. But until we see you on the next one, y'all have a good one, and happy making. Later.